There'll be more coming, but that was a very good event. I'm going to give you one bit, a note here. I think I sent you an email already. I thought about whether I should say this or not publicly, but I'm going to say it. Bieber bus is a big problem. And it's not Carl Bieber or the Bieber family that's the problem. I'm not going to bring out the name, but that was sold some time ago. And I have been communicating with a man by the name of Warren Schaub, who lives in Kutztown, has posted a lot of data, a lot of videos, and we had 2 Bieber buses. If I was in charge of the buses, I would not have rented Bieber buses. But Penn State Extension didn't know about this because I talked to them when I realized we were in old Bieber buses. Both of them broke down partway through the day. They had to park them and bring other buses, and that's becoming a regular occurrence. There are no easy answers. Kevin Barnhardt is chairman of the South Central Transportation Authority, and Dave Kilmer have looked at what they might be able to do, but there are very strict rules against charter for public transportation, so they can't just come in and take the place of Bieber. But that's something that, and I'm looking at Karen because I sent her an email this morning with a lot of information. I really think the paper should look very closely at what's going on, because there's some serious issues, and we experienced it yesterday. The one bus had to be left up at the fire tower because it lost its power steering. Now, brakes would have been a worse issue, but the breakdowns of Bieber of their buses and issues are a serious problem, not to mention the lack of unpaid bills.
If I may just circle back to your comments about bus service to and from New York. I just received more information prior to this meeting, which I'll share with the Chamber Transportation Committee. There are folks in this community through the Chamber and through elected officials in their offices trying to work on a solution. It's, to your earlier point, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not something simply BARTA can pick up the slack and run up to New York or anything of that nature, but it's something we're struggling with. We're going to try to find a solution, but I did get some promising information that gives other carriers some flexibility we otherwise weren't aware of until this morning. And quite honestly, when the owner of Bieber said he was moving now to Weehawken to the ferry, the first 3 days of this week, people getting the buses dropped 50%. And what they do is they get on 15-passenger vans, and they travel to New York on a van. So the folks who need to get to New York, the folks that work there, the folks that have family there, and for other reasons are basically finding alternative routes. To Commissioner Leinbach's earlier point, when you're dealing with federal and state transportation dollars and subsidies for South Central and BARTA, and you're dealing with private carriers, and it gets really, really complicated who can do what with what source of money. We simply can't just step in and say we're going to start providing bus service through Bieber or South Central to replace Bieber. One thing I did learn is Transbridge, which is located in Bethlehem, was asked or encouraged to come down and pick up folks in Reading, but their issue again is profit. They would end up deadheading back, meaning no one back on the bus going 40 miles back in the other direction. So let's say their last run drops off 10 or 15 people in Reading, they're going back empty. They just don't see the financial viability of doing that. So it is complicated, and I know the newspaper has been probably 3 or 4 editorials thus far. And I want again, and Karen and I spoke the other day with Gail Landis from the Chamber. It's not like we're not doing anything. It's just that this is not a twitch your nose and everything's going to be fine type of solution. It's difficult. One of the more challenging things I've at least been involved in the last couple of years. So hopefully we can get something resolved long term, because I honestly don't think Bieber's the answer long term.